Good morning. Good morning. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, May 9th, 2021, Sunday. Rest day for common people, but for COVID, every day is working. Title of today's talk same as before: Civil Field Engineering, COVID-19 Designs, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Quality, etc., etc., etc. Every day I take this opportunity to address you about certain professional issues, certain general issues, certain common issues which in general life, in daily life, we do not consider too significant. We all are busy, remain busy on our jobs, on our field, without even caring for what is missed. What is missed is very important to be known, because if we miss something and if we do not understand that or do not keep in mind that we miss it, we cannot recoup that. We cannot do that, and it is common that we never care for something which must be cared for. We think whatever is done perfectly, and it is called overconfidence. There is no quality in that case, quality of work, quality of consideration. As usual, COVID-19, maybe you say that is not part of your talk. Why you're including in this case? Yes, it's not part of my talk as far as medical part of COVID-19 is concerned, but it is very much integral part of my talk if safety is concerned. Safety of individual, safety of a person, safety of a worker, and safety of self and family. Safety is very much part of engineering. Safety, if we do not take care of that, we miss a lot. If I don't care for safety, this means I do not care for myself. Safety is that part of life. I can say that you may say HSC, you may say health, safety and environment. Those are very important part: health, safety and environment. And we cannot go against that as far as as far as safety and health is concerned. It's called health, safety and environment. I'm trying to something happening to my problem, health, safety and environment. I can say that COVID-19 relates to health, safety. I'm just trying to bring one page to you. Medicines, oxygen, hospitals, beds, doctors, ventilators, infections, millions daily. Really, what we should do, to test all installed immediately. Install immediately. Isolate patients. Isolate those infected. I'm just trying to, bring to you this part of, I like to say that this COVID, I like to say, let me just close it for a moment and let me see how it works. Just a minute please, excuse me, it will take a complete, just trying to, it's a mistake actually, just hold on please. So it's coming to your revised file of health safety, and it's coming to your revised file now. This is here, you can see it's a revised file of safety which I'm talking about, and this is health safety environment I just put in there about COVID, and this is very much engineering issue, we cannot avoid it. I say 50% world infections in India, Bharat, do happen. Why? Medicines, oxygens issue, hospitals, beds issue, doctors, nurses issue, ventilators issue, infections million daily. What we should do, that's a question mark, and we have to think on this. If we do not think, we do not do justice to ourselves. That's very important part of this. And if we do not justice to ourselves, we do not justice with anybody. That's a point of concern. I don't know why people call for money. Health safety and engineering is very important part of engineering. We can't say no. We can't say no. If we say no, we don't do justice ourselves. Health. What is health? One is a worker. As I am worker, as engineer I am worker. And you all are workers somewhere. If I'm not healthy, can I work? That's my question. If I'm not healthy, I can't even sit, forget work. And sometimes when I'm not healthy, I don't even eat. I don't like to eat food. I don't like to walk. I don't feel happy. I don't feel pleased. I feel uneasy. So when I feel uneasy, I can say that I am uneasy, don't disturb me. And even if I'm not happy, I'm uneasy, I can't even sleep. Sleeping also requires to be healthy. And if you're not healthy, there's some problems of part of your body. And you try to sleep, that part shall pinch you all the time. You'll feel pain, or you'll not be, stable. It happens with everyone. And then we talk of work. If you are working, if you are not safe, you can meet accident. You can fall from height, or you can feel in hot weather condition, heat stroke. You can get sunburns. You can get, some dust in your eyes if you don't use glasses. If something falls on your head is punctured if you don't use safety helmets. Some nail can puncture your feet foot if you do not use safety shoes. And if you are working in an environment where there is no tidiness, site is untidy, you don't feel happy to work. And even if you are determined, you cannot work to that efficiency that you expect of yourself. Forget others. And environment, where I'm talking, environment around you. I'm not talking world environment. Environment around you, people around you, air around you, water around you, humidity around you, and to what level you are exposed to hazards. So this is, health, safety, environment is a big question mark. We may not care for this, but it is required. So what should COVID-19 be called? It's a health issue, it's safety issue, it's environment issue, or what issue it is? Though COVID-19 is named, it is coronavirus infectious disease of year 19. Year 19 has gone to year 21, and maybe it goes to 22, to 23, 24, 25, 26, who knows how far it goes. That's the point you have to consider. It's really powerful. You can say it's a powerful attack. You can say it's a powerful nuclear fission. If I consider in that way, means metallic nuclear fission, but it's not metallic. Yet we can assume that's kind of fission, COVID-19 virus fission. It has been working around world since, I can say, sometime September, October 2019, and that's why name is given to it 19. Now it's 21. It's no child now. It's of age around more than 1 year, more than half year. But it's thriving, it's perfectly moving. It's not declared its secret still now. Our scientists, whole world scientists, have failed in establishing its identity. That's the point. Just now, before this space, I started talking about, I read one news of CDC, that's USA, Central Disease Control, which confirms that, which establishes that, that COVID-19 is airborne. They confirm it now. Okay, they confirm it or they don't confirm it, that is altogether different issue. They confirm it or they don't confirm it, that's right, but what do they confirm? They confirm, what do they confirm? That, they confirm that previously they did not confirm it. Now they establish that it is airborne, and they say that is airborne to an extent. Aerosols collections are concerned. They say bigger drops, which are clumped one, means say if they remain clumped, they come to ground urgently or very fast and stay on your surfaces. If hard surfaces, means they stay for longer, and if it's soft surfaces, these droplets stay for short duration. And if those smallest particles, isolated one, they remain suspended in air for long hours, and whoever comes, these are released through exhale of nose, and is also taken in through inhale of nose. Through respiration, you can say, if you do in respiration or ex respiration, out respiration, in both ways, in through exhale you release if you are patient COVID, and if someone comes in contact in the same place, and that person inhales these droplets, can be infected. This means it's very easy to infect through air. You may stay outside or you may stay inside. It doesn't make much difference. This means environment, that is air or contents in air, are all times infected. Where population is more, and for hours if these remain infected suspended, this is very dangerous situation. If they can understand this point, I wrote many times this point, nobody believed. It's not only that, it's a aerosol, you can say. These aerosols can enter your home, can enter your offices, can enter your car. This is very much true. You may raise a question, why? Yes, that's right. If you consider size of this particle of COVID-19, aerosol particle or something else, but you can say size of its real virus, it is said, to my information, that it is 0.00002 millimeters. This means we have one soil that is named clay. Clay is called, this is very dangerous soil in engineering terms for purpose of foundations. But this is good soil for agricultural purpose. There are two properties it has. If you use clay for agriculture purpose, it's beneficial. While if you use it for foundation purpose, it's not beneficial. Here I'm not talking of these two. Those are different properties. I'm just saying size of clay. 0.0002 mm each particle, and this is you can say, if you just experience sometime dust storm, your sky is full of dust. You say dust storm. What's that dust? Sand particles can't fly that much. Silt particle cannot fly that much. Lime particle cannot fly that much high, except drop of water that is already in air. Now clay is, as I say, 0.0002 mm, and this is more than that. Means our COVID particle is a fraction of that size, that we have to understand. Fraction of that size. It's lighter in size, it's lower in size if you compare to clay particles. This means it is very light, and even our respiration can pull it. And that's why it comes into nose, and it can also go from nose. This also means that when you use your machine, for example air conditioner, people say wall mounted air conditioner or centralized air conditioner. Some people have an understanding that central AC or HVAC, you may say, heat ventilation, air conditioning, that central one, doesn't affect. I talk to many people, they say like that. Well, this is misunderstanding. It may be central AC or it may be window air conditioner. Both have power to pull and suck such particles. When you talk of window machine, window air conditioner, window mounted machine, it has compressor in it, and compressor when works, and if there exists some aerosol around near window or wherever it is, by whatever reason it is, it can pull, it can suck that particle into and transport it to room. And because room is at about 15 to 20 degrees Celsius temperature, outside may be more, both temperatures are good for this particle. If it is 15 to 20 degrees Celsius or more, it's favorable for survival of this particle, while it's outside 30 to 40 or more, it's also little means not that supportive, but it's also survival for this particle. Its temperature because this particle dies at 92 degrees Celsius, say, or 90 degrees, and which is not possible. Heat of air is not 90 degrees or 92 degrees. This point we have to understand. This means when you are in room and your air conditioner is on, you invite entry of COVID-19 into your room, and once it enters, duly filtered of course, if it enters your room, it's in good mood and it can enter your body. It can enter your body and you are subject to infection. That's what I say. This is one part of air conditioning. People may not understand this, but suction power of compressor is very high. It can suck even clay particle. It can even suck sand particle. It can even suck whatever particle is very powerful. And if you take case of centralized HVAC system that is affected by ducting. There is air handling unit or package unit, whatever you call it, air handling unit and chiller unit. Air handling unit is placed either on ground or on top terrace. Wherever it is placed doesn't matter. There is a chiller and air handling unit connection, or it may be package unit, both. Maybe some people do not know that. Air handling unit is very important because it pulls both. It pushes means air is extracted, used air, circulated air, and when it sucks in or pulls in fresh air for purpose of air conditioning of area, and chiller is used in this connection for application of converting hot air to cold air. These two machines are there, and these are quite powerful. Whatever number of stories building you have, all floors are connected by ducting system, and ducting means entry duct, or you can say supply duct, and other ducting is return duct. Return duct or supply duct, when you take supply, there are connections like volume controls, fire dampers, all that, because there are so many reasons of converting hot to cold like that, and there are chances of many things. So what I mean to say, when chilled water supplied and when cold air or chilled air is supplied through your ducting system, and if air handling unit pulls particle from air, which is aerosol, it's very comfortable zone during its travel from inlet of chiller and up to supply in your room. Whatever length it has, it shall survive in that, because that air is not hot. You are not supplying hot air to room, you are supplying cold air or chilled air. This means during travel itself it will thrive, and when it comes to your room you will be infected, because in room you are not wearing your mask or you are not using glasses. If you use glasses and you use mask all time, full time, there may be protection. And same reason, same explanation applies to while you are driving your car, because car has also got compressor and it can work in same way as your window air conditioner or this unit. When you're driving scooter or motorcycle or cycle, it's different case. You are not directly pulling in if you are using mask or your helmet. Means there is a chance of protection in that case, and if you are walking, you are using mask and goggles, you are safe to 90%, 99%. Chances may be that sometime your mask slips, your nose is exposed, or your eye doesn't have glasses. In that case, there are such chances that you get it. No, last year when you used to talk about aerosol, people used to make fun of it. Really, I wrote on Facebook many times, but There were reactions. It's not possible. There was reaction from UA itself. There is no scientific evidence. Okay, there is no scientific evidence. There is common sense evidence. There is thinking evidence. That's why we say in engineering, thinking is very important. Thinking is very important, and we say that engineering says thinking is important, and we are talking engineering. So I can repeat my last explanations that do not be optimist about this, because we do not know COVID-19 perfectly, and if CDC again established, yes, there are chances from air that you are infected in. This means you can be infected in your toilet as well. You can be infected in bathroom or washroom. Plumbing connections, sanitary connections, of course, particularly in those buildings which are connected one room over the other, multi-story building or high-rise building, where they have common plumbing and sanitary connections. This means this survives in water as well. When you wash your hands, you say wash your hands as protective measure. Okay, wash your hand with alcoholic acid, or you wash with soap. That means even if it's in the hand or in the mouth, by washing it goes to your wash basin or then to drain. Somewhere it is in line, and it is not dead. It can move up and down. And then there's a common stack of sanitary units, common stack SCI pipe or plastic pipe somewhere. So this has a chance to travel from one floor to another floor, from one kitchen to other kitchen, from one bathroom to other bathroom. And that's a very important point. Where the group is staying in a high-rise building, you'll find, say, 20 flats in one plumbing unit, one plumbing stack or more. So this can generate, this can thrive, this can, increase its population. This is very important, and I think that also is not only vertical rise, it's horizontal as well. When sanitary connections are same, so it affects both way. Vertically, it affects more than it can affect horizontally. So this could be reason, and moreover, it is also said that through ice, though ice cannot transfer to others, but through ice, this aerosol, or not even aerosol, direct contact infection, it enters through ice with speed that is 49 times more than what it enters in your ordinary way. So you say 50 times faster it is, though distance to ice is very small, but it is very efficient in entering through your ice. Therefore, one requirement is that you must have mask or cloth on your nose and on your lips. You should both be covered. I have seen people that they just hang it and say, I am using mask. If you hang it, it's same thing as if you don't use it. If you cover your mouth and don't cover your nose, it is same thing as you are not using. And if you are talking, you remove this mask, means it is senseless. And people, when use mobile, they remove it. So it's no meaning. Means these are points I'm just saying, these are carelessness. These points pertain to carelessness by everyone. It doesn't matter from where you are. It's convenience that you remove your mask temporarily, and that temporary phase can infect you. Means it is very serious issue. We cannot take it for granted. That's what I'm saying. Environment, not only air environment, health, not only your health linked to other health, your safety linked to other safety. If both persons are talking, why you are talking? That's why I removed mask. No. When you are talking, you don't remove your spectacle, you don't remove your glasses. Why do you remove mask? Question is, you have to talk through mask itself. Raise your voice and talk. Because even 10 seconds or 5 seconds are enough for this your friend, unknown friend, COVID-19 can enter your body, your cinema hall without ticket. Be careful. And environment, try to avoid environment issue, because this is also when you're talking, you're driving, your mobile use, you're just saying I'm just talking, so I remove mask. You are talking, you're just talking, but you are also inviting COVID to be your friend. This point is very important. That's why I'm trying to explain it in an engineering way so that we can understand what I'm talking. That's why I said HSE, health, safety, environment. And also this ergonomics, I have not written here till now. It is ergonomics, it is called, means best way to work, best way to sit, best way to work, how to work, what should be specification of your sitting, what should be your height, what should be eyes angle with your computer monitor, and like that, how you, when you are so doing some physical activity, what's best procedure. Same thing as environment and here ergonomics. When I can say this is also a part of ergonomics. Now you can say how to wear mask, how to use glasses, how to drive, how to take your own care. This all you can say some way, because it affects your health. Because very dangerous COVID-19. So we have to take all precautions. And other precautions I already explained to you. I read somewhere ultraviolet rays. These ultraviolet rays can infect you with cancer your skin. That's true. I agree with that. This can not only infect your skin, but also your you can say your eyes. This can lead to eyes cataract. This happens. But I'm not going to that extent. That's already there. Temperature issue is there, which is now in Delhi around NCR. It's now 35 to 40 degrees during daytime, and the humidity is also about 40%, 50%. The question is not humidity here. Question is not temperature, because we can digest this temperature for a few seconds, for minutes, for hours, depending on your work. Our workers, trade workers, our factory workers, forget factory workers, field workers who work in open skies. Those workers, you see, they work 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours during temperature. And during this 8 hours, about 3 to 4 hours, they work in this temperature, 40 degrees around. They are also human beings. If you see their bodies, they are much stronger than those people who work in air conditions, air environment. Reason? These people whom we call workers, I should with respect call them workers, because it's very important work they do which others cannot do. It is very important work. They produce for us houses, they produce for us other structures, and which we use forever. So these are more important than factory workers, I should say. Civil construction workers, when I note them, of course they are not very polished, they are not very educated, but art-wise they are educated, work-wise they are educated. If out of these 8 hours, even 2-3 hours they work in 40 degrees or around, this is plenty of medicines to them. Ultraviolet rays which come from sun, and these should be protected by ozone layer. But because due to depletion of ozone layer, we are not able to receive pure, I can say filtered ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet is able to reach ourselves. I know ultraviolet rays are harmful to our skin, but if you use it full time, if you go for 30 minutes, for example, 30 minutes in noon time or afternoon time, 30 minutes okay for you, good one. Even 15 minutes you can say. But usually if you expose yourself with covering, of course, you should cover your skin. I'm not saying go without clothes. Cover your skin, your pant, you use your pant, or if you are a lady, use your other clothes. Don't leave any part of your body to sun. Except, eyes also use glasses. You can keep something on your head also if you wish so. Of course, you have to face sweating. You can drink water before moving, or you can take some water with you. But if you expose yourself to those UV ultraviolet index 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for few minutes, say quarter of an hour or if you are stronger, half an hour, 30 minutes, or you are more stronger, you can resist this heat. It can be 45 minutes, it can be 60 minutes, not more than that. I think it's okay. Even if you can tolerate for more, it's your health, because you will sweat that time, and you will be thirsty that during that period, and you may feel uneasy also in beginning, but ultimately you will gain health, you will gain medicine you do not know, and that medicine cannot be given by any doctor. That's also true. Even these injections of vitamin D cannot help. This is injection to whole part of your body. I know people will criticize this, no problem, because I have been in sun for many years, more than, I am a site person. I was on sites, and that too in hot conditions, in areas which are Gulf areas, where temperatures could go even to 45 degrees, 50 degrees in Baghdad. I was in 1981 working in Baghdad, where temperature was 55 degrees Celsius. But it's my job, we have to work. Of course, there was less humidity, but dry, you can say. More humidity in heat adds to temperature, because water particles in air start evaporating, and this causes a problem. I'm not going into a theory of that, but I'm trying to say here that best solution is, if you want to protect yourself from COVID-19, you have to heat up your body naturally. I'm not saying go to bathroom and take hot bath. Just sweat yourself through sun, and don't worry in morning time, do in noon time or around afternoon. And must stress your body, must stress yourself, because workers of buildings, workers of civil are much more stronger. If they are given good food, they will develop. Unfortunately, they are poor, they don't have that capacity to buy food what you can buy. So problem is, don't use those means which cause problem to you. Aerosol is very powerful, and it was not even felt that it would cause this much problem. Now we say 50% of all infections are occurring in Bharat, India. That's very serious issue. It's not because I am from Bharat, India. It's not that question. COVID-19 does not know any country. We should understand that. COVID-19 knows only one country, and that is world. There's only one country for COVID-19, and name of that country is world. Continental part of world and water part of world. How it affects in water, there is no data, but it shall affect, because this virus survives in wet conditions, and sea is wet, humidity is wet. We have to understand that. Lesser humidity and more temperature, this virus is, you can say, it's not that much active. If there is high temperature and low humidity, this is not in support of virus, not favoring conditions. This virus requires, wet conditions, humid conditions, and we have to understand that in morning time or in evening time, percentage of humidity of course is there, but it's not heated up, so it can cause problem. So we have to keep ourselves heated up. That is first point of precaution. We have to use our personal protective equipments, as are of course admitted everywhere and enacted. You have to use mask, you have to use glasses, and as much as possible you have to keep protected. Be humanized, be civilized, that you are a friend of everybody. Due to you, others should not be infected. That is point of requirement, and that's very important one. Why? I have no right to infect others. Of course, forget law. As human being, I have no right to infect others, and I have no right to infect myself even. So question arises, now what is happening is very unbecoming. It should not have happened like this, but it is happening. It's happening, and that is tragical. In Bharat, what's happening now since March, April is very, very unpleasant situation, unhappy situation, you can say. Why it's happening? There's a reason. There is a reason. I am saying here, what about poor? That's a question mark. Why did we not worry about poor? Why do we not worry about poor? There's another question. Does our governments act? I'm sorry, it's not in government, it's government. Error here. Does government exist? That's another point. Leave it behind. What we should do, that I am telling you, and test all immediately. Now this is very important part, that test all immediately. This part is very important here, which we missed, and isolate those infected. Test all immediately, what does it mean? You say you are joking, how it's possible to test whole population? Yes, you are right. Your question is very much logical. Very much logical. Population of our country is 1,300 million or 130 crores. Crore is not international unit, therefore I said 1300 million. This is our population. Now I go back to March 2020 when we started this problem. We started getting infected. March 2020 to February 2021, 12 months. Then March, you can say 13 months, April 14 months, and now it's May. 14 months is very long period in this issue, in this age. 14 months means 365 days plus 60 days, 420 days or more, 430 days let us say. 430 days you think is a small period? No, it's not. We have tested so far only 22% people. Do you know that? So far our country has tested only 22% people, which is around 30 crores. 30 crores people have been tested. You don't think it's a question mark? It is a question mark. A country where 130 crore people are there, and there was no deficiency, there was no dearth of people who couldn't test them. Testing can be done by little training by everybody. Question is not of money, question is of health and safety and survival. If we in 14 months could test only 22% people, this means if 14 months, then you can say 22% people. This means you have to multiply by 4 more. So it will take 14 into 4, 96 months or 90 months. You mean according to that speed, you require 90 months. And I'm not joking. Let us say 3 years, forget everything else. 4 years or 3 years, if we keep ourselves 3 years tied up with this, what shall happen? You imagine. Had we tested all people, or say if not all, 80% people, 75% people, this means during a period of 6 months or 9 months or 12 months, how many people were infected could be out to isolation? That might be 2%, 1.5%, 3%. Because if we go into beginning of this data, I think in January it was 1.8% infectious people of those being tested. So if I say 2%, let us say 2% people, which means let us say 2.5 or 2.6 crores. If I had known them in 6 months back, say 9 months back, or even by now, they could be isolated. They could not be isolated because of this lapse of testing. And again, this testing was very important I kept on writing all day. I even sent my references, my URLs to ministry. But I think virus made everybody sleep. 19 pushed everybody to sleep. 19 pushed everybody to sleep, and that is where problem lies in. Today we are getting 20% infections. Means if you test 100 people, 20 people, 20 persons, 25 persons, I have seen 25% also, 24.8. So in range of 20 to 25%, or you may say 18 to 24%. 18 to 24% for last couple of weeks means 42, means 21% on average. 21% average people are infected, and it should have been 2%. Just think of 2% to 24% means how many times? 12 times more than expected. This means 1200% we are inviting infections, and that is reason that we are getting 400,000 or 500,000, or to my calculations 10 lakhs or 1 million infections a day. This is what I say, 1 million infections a day, that is here 1 million daily. Is it right or wrong? Means considerably, I'm telling you, I'm not depending on government data, because government data is political data. I'm talking medical data, and that's 1 million infections daily, and 10,000, that's not 4,000. So 10,000 deaths, 1 million daily, 10 lakhs infections, and 1% is in 10 lakhs is, in 1 lakh it is 1% is 1,000, and 10 lakhs 10,000. 10,000 dead bodies. This means 1% death we are getting. This also means, if it is really true, 1.3 crores deaths we can expect. 1.3 crores death. Can you digest this figure? You cannot digest this figure. But this is fact. This is fact. 1.3 crores. We have to spend money on testing. And that could be 1,600 rupees, 1,500 rupees, 3,000 rupees, or whatever. We have to spend money on that. Then we have to spend money on medical treatment, medicines or injections or whatsoever, and we have to isolate. Now I have to think not for middle class and not for rich. I have to think for poor. A person who doesn't earn more than 300 rupees or 400 rupees a day, how do you expect that person to test self? No way. No one can do it. Self-testing is not possible. We have to be logical in this regard. We have to think for those 80% people who are poor. And actually, till now, those people have not been tested, to be very frank, majority of them. This 77% who have not been tested, they belong to this category. That's why my concern is government did not do anything to test them, and that's very much worrisome. So only point is that we should test them. Had we tested them earlier, 6 months back, this problem would not have arisen, and they would have been isolated like that 6 months back, and this percentage of 20, 21, 22 or 18, 19 would not have occurred. We should have been about 2 or 3%. That's why our case has broken. That's why COVID-19 has promoted itself, and we supported COVID-19 to promote itself. It's a very serious issue. People may take it differently. They can take it to whatever dimensions, I least bother. So this is actually our tragedy, that our people and our state did not worry about this, despite people speaking, despite people alerting government. You can see my files which I used to write daily. The testing is still floppy, and yesterday report was that just 22 point some percent people have been tested, which is 30 crores, and remaining have not done. And testing is not going on as it should go. There's no such indication, and there's no such report. This means problem exists. Problem exists, and we don't have solution to that problem. And if we don't have solution to that problem, how it's going to be solved is a big question mark. So only solution is, when I say what we should do, we should not do anything. We should work. We should test everybody, and which looks, impractical now, because we don't have, I think, that infrastructure. We did not develop in last 14 months. Treatment, forget treatment, because we don't have that infrastructure for treatment. We are short in both. We are not able to test, and also we are not able to treat, because if we have really this case, we say that medicines not available to meet requirement. Medicines not available to meet requirement. Oxygen not available to meet requirement, or distribution is not worth. Hospitals all occupied, all beds occupied. There's no place in hospitals. Yesterday there was a case of one lady I got from video, said that cost of ambulance, or you can say charges of ambulance from Delhi to Punjab or Ludhiana, 1,20,000 rupees, 1.2 lakh rupees for ambulance to take patient to Ludhiana, where bed was available. It was 1.2 lakhs. It's a big question. Means we don't have beds. And doctors, of course, they are human beings. They don't want to be beaten by relatives of patients. They can do what they are doing. They can do more than that. But they don't have facilities. They are not oxygens. They are not medicines. They are doctors and nurses and health workers. What we have to see, it's very complicated issue. We are on verge of collapse actually, and we don't want to collapse. Only point is, do when you, even if it's late, you start doing. So it's a time that we have to start doing. We are late, but cooperation has to be invited from every sector. Warnings are coming in for this sector. I don't know who may lose life, even myself may go. It happens. Nobody can stop that. So it's a point, it's a very important one. We have to understand that. Now back to, again to our own engineering world, and that is quality related world. We say quality everywhere, but does it mean something? When say quality everywhere, it must have meaning. What meaning does it have if we say quality everywhere? In fact, if there is no quality in health controls, there is no quality in health system, we can't expect quality in engineering. We can't expect quality in engineering. Had there been quality in health, I think it would make a lot of difference. I always say systems quality. When I say systems means all systems. And when I say individual means all individual. And element means all materials, all products. When we design something, we design for certainly quality. When somebody designs, that person designs with an assumption, with a trust that when this work is done, it shall be done for quality requirement. That is assumption. Designer assumes that, but does it work? That's another point. And because whatever is designed, that has to go to construction. That's another point. Whatever we design has to go to construction, and that's where I have to deal with. Otherwise, there is no meaning of designs if we can't deal with it. Now, constructions and designs are directly proportional to each other. Design is proportional to construction, and construction is proportional to design, and both must relate to quality. Designs are excellent these days because softwares are available and computerized system available. It only requires some understanding on part of designer, which is best method to design and to draw, and that designer does based on knowledge and based on experience. But construction is much more important in current time. Construction, because we never care for procedures, we never care for quality, and that's the reason the construction quality in our country has gone to septic tank. That is what I can say. Construction quality has been, you can say, killed. You can say, you may raise this point why I'm saying this, but that's a fact. This, if there's a variation of 2 or 3%, I don't mind. There's a variation of, no consideration of quality. No consideration of quality, and that is in construction. And that impacts designs also. Because sometimes what happens, if you make mistakes, if you reiterate mistakes, if you repeat it every time and do same wrong work again and again, people shall assume that this is right work. If you make mistakes, do wrong work, do not do according to demand of quality, do not do accordingly, people assume that this is right approach, this is right work, which means bad quality is considered good quality. Bad quality is considered good quality. Bad system is considered good system. That point we have to really understand. Construction does not do anything on its own. It's people who are deployed on construction. They do what they decide, and they decide what they do. It's up to them, but they cannot go beyond system. They cannot go beyond system, and if they want to go beyond system, then you have to understand first what's merit and what's demerit of system in which they are working. Then they have every right to justify changes in system for better performance. And that changes can be done in construction. And in construction, I always say that whatever activities you have to do in construction, that activity must be done excellently. Excellently well. I say excellently well. क्या हो रहा है? हाँ? So I say every activity has certain method statement. It's not that it's available. This method statement is available. No, it's not question of available or not available. That method statement has to be devised based on our past experience. That method statement has to be devised based on our past statement, and we have to work on that. We have to work on those methods which we did in past, and those proven method statements which produce everything, those must be well done. We think, we do, and we did. Activities method statement, system method statement, all those which we did must be done properly, and that is only way. Method statement means when we work on method statements, we think of quality, we think of quantity, we think of specifications, and we think of current practice or past references. We think of what manufacturers of specific materials instruct, and all these are required. And we also think on site conditions, working conditions. All these are thought of, and if required, sketches are prepared. We indicate by depiction of sketches. Sometimes, we attach so many details for those people who must get right information. Those supervisors or those engineers who work on sites, they must understand what they should do, and this method statement should get their feedback also before finalizing this statement. Whatever statement, what's best way they want to do, what's convenient way they want to do. Method statement has to solve problems, not to create problems. There may be any number of problems, whatever number of problems on sites, which methods have to solve. Problem for temporary work, problem for preparatory work, problem for permanent work, and other problems. You can say associated problems. Associated problem in a way that site should be controlled properly. Other activities should not be disturbed. And we see where activities are very important which relate to survival of temperature. There may be temperatures we don't allow concrete, means that can be done. We have to ensure that concrete is done within required limits of temperature. And also we have to see that not only work is done correctly, our workers work comfortably, not in hardships. Workers have to be safe while working, and work should be safe while working, safe and quality-wise safe, and also there should be no defect in that work. Defect, if you create in work, if work is defected, means it is substandard, it cannot be accepted. That defect is very important. We have to see what defect is there, we have to understand that. And that defect is called problematic when it is not controlled. So method statement is that, you can say, kind of treatment, and it's not for one activity or other activity, or we say no, only for important activity. This should be done, this should be drawn for all activities to be performed. Means method statement is a declaration for how to perform, how to do on site, There can be different ways, there can be different methods for same activity, but target is same. There is no impact on target. Yes, every time you do same activity, you can improve its performance, you can improve its speed, you can improve its quality, and you can improve to whatever extents, and you can save time, you can save so many other items. Cost cannot be saved. Yeah, you may say that because time is saved, I can save cost. That is very, very, negligible, but it can give you confidence. And of course, when you think of how to do a job, you shall certainly come in a way that if I do this way, there are many options for same thing. I adopt this option or I adopt that option. This risk involved in this one, this option, and other risk is involved in other options. So can I remove risk, or I have to do work risky in this way, but how to contain and digest that risk, how to keep people protected from risks. That's another point. And this all lead to reliability, means whatever we work is safe, whatever we work is, it is serviceable, and whatever we work is, you can say, for duration, for long journey, a journey which this item would travel, which call durability, and giving required performance, intended performance. So all this is done. We can say reliability is equal to safety plus serviceability plus durability, and all depends on what do you think about that, which is called analysis. And that's way we can say that thinking is involved, contemplation is involved. That's what is done. Let's see. Hold on, please. What to do, my God. Okay, so I say analysis and synthesis are two practical ways to understand problems. Analysis gives us an opportunity. Well, it's our right, it's not question of opportunity. We have to analyze everything. Analysis tells us solution to problem, because analysis is use of mind actually. Use of mind and not use of conscious. Engineering says use of mind is important, then sentimental use. And we analyze every force. We analyze every force that member has to resist in structural engineering or anywhere in life. If I have to face some problem, I have to think on that. It's not I alone, everybody. We have to think of that, and if you think of that, we study this problem, whatever problem, we analyze it, we understand its impacts, and then we find solution. There may be any number of problems, there may be whatever number of problems in one issue. Each problem requires to be analyzed, and all analysis done for that problem then must be understood and combined when we get solutions or answers or responses, and that is called synthesis. And that is what engineering about, and all this based on thinking, activity of thinking and reiteration all time, and that thinking leads to formation of some format, formation of some form, you may say, in some formation, a kind of template, and that is called in-depth thinking, or based on that template a formula is generated to solve that problem, and that's called innovative engineering, or applications must be affected, and you can say a kind of application is generated, a kind of application, I'm not saying application, and that's basis of engineering which is use of mind to find solution. That's what we say. I take this close of COVID-19 currently. We'll say now, as I was talking of construction and control last time, I was talking of everything in construction. How does it happen? We talked of various sites, various procurements. We talked of construction project management, and we talked of so much on that. Controls, everything we talked of is all very important, and we have to understand what these are. If you don't understand these, we cannot do anything. We cannot reach certain conclusion, and this is a very important part of life, that we have to understand that. Then we have to see in this about facilities on show. I'm just trying to find, this we have talked of general, we have talked of project design, contract awards, and we have talked engineering facilities, and we can say now project management, facilities, petrochemicals. Let us see what's that. Let's open this chapter now, which is you can say chapter 6 in this case. Says project management facility. Now, what actually facility is? That's the point here. What we call facility, what we call no facility. When I say facility, this means a kind of productive facility, a kind of facility of production or service. Let us say crude oil is converted to petroleum products, gasoline. That is a facility that obtains crude oil from offshore, slugger, converts it to use for petroleum, production of petroleum, and there are so many byproducts and those bare parts are further treated or produced. Where if no project facility, I can say various facilities at construction site. Now what it says, contractor shall be responsible to arrange or to acquire all service logistics required at plant, industrial, city for performance of works. Here contractor means whoever is responsible to work for product. That company or organization shall be responsible to arrange, to acquire all service logistics required at plant, industrial, city for performance of work. Cost of such services shall be included in lump sum portion of contract price. This means it's a kind of collection of all expenses, whatever expenses we expect or we anticipate or we analyze what work we have to do for in relation to that price finally we receive as fixed price lump sum or by some other way contract price we call it. Now what examples we should give about these services that can be considered like that? Land rental for accommodation, office camp and lay down area, these are essentials. Gate pass of personal and vehicles, equipment, plant, these are also mandatory. In facilities areas, means which are protected areas, you can say, which are protected or prohibited area for general public, and these projects go on construction, everybody cannot enter there. There is some control, say there is some, you can say, reservations, who can enter, who cannot enter on those projects. So you can say gate pass, which is a protection for unauthorized entry, that only requires those people who have to work there enter only those vehicles which are authorized enter only, and those equipment I mean to say heavy machines like crane, like mobile pump, like transit mixers, like trucks, excavators or whatever else involved, and whatever plants, and also certain certificate courses, whatever for training of personnel and fresh water. Means this is just a small list. This is not necessary that this is all. This, you can add anything to that, no problem. You can add what you want to add that. These facilities which are required, which are a must or shall have to be managed, should be provided or organized by contractor and sufficient in advance, not at 11th hour, according to requirement, according to schedule, managed by contractor sufficient in advance, so as to meet schedule requirement. It should be noted that procedure for lease of planned land, for camping requires considerable time by municipality or industrial city authorities as well as other authorities, and this depends on location where your project is, what's procedure, which actually contractor should know and authority should know, and that time must be covered, and it should start from very beginning, and I think during bid stage itself this should be considered by those companies, organizations who are experienced in contracting in local areas. They should know what problems they will face, how many days it will take, and those days must be covered somewhere else, not in completion time. So all these facilities shall be organized by contracting sufficient advance so as to meet schedule requirement. Schedule should not be impacted upon that. That's why experience is a must. Experienced contractors who come to do job must have local understanding. And shall we note that lease of planned land for camping requires considerable time by authorities or whosoever is the operator. Application procedures for security gate passes based on authority regulations take certain hours for issue. So this can be solved. It's not that big risk, means it's procedure that we can do as parallel procedure one, not in sequence. Can say gate passes are important for prohibited projects like oil plant facility or power station or some government control areas where entry is prohibited. Savings procedures. मैं लगा दूंगा, रहने जाएगी बाहर अभी. Every prohibited project, every prohibited area is controlled by gate entries, because it may be army area, it may be power station, it may be some other area where, for example, nuclear facility, oil facility, where state is involved or futurist controls are involved, must have certain controls. It's not like building site. It must have certain controls, certain gate passes without which entry is not allowed. And in beginning it may look little difficult, because every entrant has to bring such tickets or such passes, or you can say identity cards, or in Arabic we call patakas. These points should be kept in notice to initiate application quite in advance to meet passes delivery schedule requirements. And it doesn't take much, just if you keep one person there for his job to prepare passes, it can be done very easily. But these are controls, we cannot say we don't do it. This is part of contract and part of requirement. Construction, accommodation, camp and other construction facilities. Contractor shall choose from certain options for its camp. And what are these? Let us concentrate. Just for reference it is options. What it says, for example, is option 1 and option 2. There may be more options. Here I am taking only these two for reference only, just to inform you that what should be done, what should not be done. It's only for reference. It's no mandate here. Let us say accommodation facilities inside fence of plant area. Means we have site, we have a plant area, there is a battery limit, and it is feasible or it's acceptable if you want, if authorities accept that you can accommodate facilities inside plant area. This means contractor may utilize accommodation facilities provided by plant inside fence of plant area. Certain facilities are there, can be used, and charges and fees to be paid by contractor, of course, to plant for such accommodation, if so preferred, subject to availability. Contractor notes that plant accommodation facilities shall be subject to availability at time of making request and be provided to contractors or other parties on basis of first come, first served. Contractor notes that plant accommodation facilities shall be subject to availability at time of making request and be provided to accommodate contractor or other parties on basis of first come, first served. In event that plant accommodation facilities are not available, contractor shall utilize an approved plant designated area and construct, operate and maintain its own accommodation facilities. This is one option. And second option is accommodation facilities outside fence of plant area. Notwithstanding above, contractor may elect to have accommodation facilities outside plant area fence. In such case, contractor shall obtain necessary approval from local authorities as mentioned in foregoing. So these two options are very, very clear and very lucid, you can say. I mean to say we cannot do something which is acceptable or not acceptable, but it has to be done. So we have here to say that I'll take some minutes now, please don't mind it. It will take some minutes. Meanwhile, I expect that people may. I will be reading up this for 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum. I have to do a daily routine and come back. Hold on please, okay? as we have opted for this, that we can have accommodation inside that better limit plot, where we have to, with permission of authorities, if there's an opportunity, there's a chance that we can accommodate our workers within that area, and we have to pay for all facilities according to rules. Or there's another way that we can accommodate outside that plot if law permits in any whatever country, and we have to pay, we have to make all expenses. So this is very common. It depends on what is contract and what conditions are there and what is rule in that area, how it works. So that point is very important that we must understand. Now what are other procedures for these temporary facilities? We have to understand that contractor shall provide, maintain and operate a suitable laydown area. What is laydown area? Fabrication area. What is fabrication area? And office camps, for which should obtain permit from company or client, plant and government agencies to build these temporary facilities at plant industrial city, including permits for all utilities such as power, water, telecommunication, etc. Now, question is, what do we do with laydown area? Laydown area is always considerable size where facilities are constructed. We have to not only lay down construction material, but we have to lay down equipment, machines, and also sometimes big quantity of structural steel, and sometimes we have to do lot other items there. Sometimes it looks like everything is kept there. Laydown area is that important, and equipment or machines or materials, or you can say vessels, could stay there for months. Then also we need fabrication area. We have to fabricate our structural steel, we have to fabricate our steel reinforcement, we have to fabricate something else. And also we have to provide offices, just like contractor's office, engineer's office, subcontractor office, warehouses, temporary warehouses, stores, all, for which we must obtain permission from client, company, and if required from government to build these temporary facilities for a certain period of contract at plant industrial city, including permits for all utilities such as power, water, telecommunication, whatever feed-in, whatever services we take within this. For all utilities, we can say we have to pay accordingly, and this is required because without this nothing moves. We can then, in accordance with latest health, environment and safety standards, in accordance with latest health, environment and safety standards, for which company, client shall assist contractor by issuing an introductory letter addressed to authorities. Contractor shall submit office accommodation and laydown area requirements for company, client's approval after contract award. This means if as a contractor I have to apply to authorities who give permission, they are responsible for safety, health, environment. We have to apply to those companies or client or authorities, and they do not know me, but they know my client. So I have to first go to my client to get some support letter according to contract, and that client must help me to go to that authority for approval, and when my client gives me that permission through engineer or representative, I can apply for land issue for these facilities and other issues for these facilities. So these temporary facilities I have to produce based on those lands if I get, and contract shall utilize these temporary facilities for purpose of project only. So it says contract shall submit office accommodation and lay down area requirements for company, client approval after contract award. there may be some facilities available and already running, and maybe we get that. It's up to size of job. If job is very big, I can say where hundreds and hundreds of workers have to be accommodated. In that case, it's better to lease your land and construct your camps, because that project may run for a couple of years. It's not small project for you. And if you are small people, means for example like subcontractor, you have only 30, 40 people, 50 people to be accommodated. In that case, either you use the main contract's facility, and that's best way. You must have some condition in your subcontract that main contractor or EPC contractor shall give you this one. These approved temporary office camps and laydown areas shall be at no cost to contractor, provided these requirements are considered as reasonable and justified by company. It depends on contract, what contract you have. If it is free, okay, fine. If it's not free, you have to pay for that. Now we are going to general. Contractors shall take over construction preparation for temporary facilities after obtaining approval from local authorities. Plans and or company clients, means you have to make your own plan. You can say kind of mobilization plan. You have to make your own plan to accommodate your people, to construct whatever temporary structures you want for temporary facilities, and you have to take approval from local authority, plant authority, or whatever is competent to give you approval. You have to do that. Contractor to build. Contractors shall build, operate and maintain up to completion accommodation. Contractors shall build, operate and maintain up to completion accommodation camp for contractor personnel and other related facilities. Means it's duty that you have to maintain your camp, operate and maintain, and keep it tidy, keep it according to safety standards, keep it according to health is not impacted upon, and like that environment should be good. And camp design and construction must conform to design requirements to be developed by contractor and approved by company or client during engineering phases. Means it's not that you only just do your way. You have to make a plan, submit to your contract, submit to your client, who shall approve it, or if it's required to be approved by someone else, it must be approved through that someone else. Contractor shall provide accommodation. Contractor shall provide accommodation. Catering and servicing. Accommodation, catering and servicing. What is accommodation? Means to sleep is accommodation. Rooms, fully furnished rooms where one can sleep with sound mind, sound sleep. And catering means food, whatever food from morning till evening. And services, whatever. These include safety, medical and housing. These three items, accommodation, catering and servicing, means safety is safety number one, then medical aid and housing, cleaning, recreational facilities, laundry, etc. Means all housing, housekeeping, cleaning, food, enjoying, you can say common room, TV room or other rooms, or games like that whatsoever in camp, and generally cater to all personnel. No accommodation to be provided to company client personnel as assigned to construction site. Depends on contract what you have to provide for. Contractor shall be responsible. Contractor shall be responsible for operation, maintenance and housekeeping of accommodation, camps and other facilities. It is the responsibility of contractor to maintain this camp, to operate this camp, maintain this camp, and conduct housekeeping of all accommodations and all other facilities which are required to be maintained. Contractor personnel are to be accommodated in camp facilities in accordance with latest health, environment and safety standards. Of course, it's mandatory. Contractor personnel are to be accommodated in camp facilities in accordance with latest health, environment and safety standard. After completion, contractor shall close down and reinstate accommodation camp to its original state as a minimum, and other facilities including all such as provided to company sector. So close down at time of requirement of project is over. After completion of works, contractor shall close down and reinstate accommodation camp to its original state, and other facilities including all such provided to company or client. Office buildings and other facilities is a specialized one now. Office building and other facilities. Office buildings. Contractors shall build. Contractors shall build, operate and maintain throughout duration of work all other required construction site facilities, including but not limited to following. Means generally this list is available, but it's not limited list. So it says contractor shall build, operate and maintain throughout duration of work all other required construction site facilities, including but not limited to following. And what is that? Office buildings for contractor and company client personnel. Office buildings for contractor and company client personnel. Reprography and communications, including phone, fax, radio, etc. Pipe fabrication shop. Warehouses and laydown area. Warehousing facility shall include covered storage, covered storage, air conditioned storage and outdoor storage as appropriate. Piping must be protected with pipe caps. Radiography examination room. Toilets, washing facilities, showers and change rooms. Testing laboratory, both civil, mechanical and E&I. Concrete bleaching facility or bleaching plant. Roads, paths and car parking for construction requirements. Guard houses, entrance, control and fencing. Craftwork areas, fueling stations for equipment, trucks, buses, adequate storage and handling facilities. Rigging loft, first aid medical stations, minimum 3 stations. Equipment maintenance facilities, labor workers, canteen facilities, explosives storage if required, lining storage area and work area. Steel fabrication area, civil fabrication work area, steel fabrication area, civil fabrication work area, grit blasting, grit blasting, painting shop, utilities such as power, water, air, etc. For phases of work up to completion. For phases of work up to completion, all other facilities required for work. Contractor to prepare details and obtain relevant approvals of facilities proposed. Temporary construction facilities provided by contractor for camp offices. Laydown area fabrication shops, etc. be subjected to inspection of State Environment Supreme Council respecting services such as sewage disposal, earth removal and disposal, dirt transportation, disposal, spills. In case contractor is not compliant with minimum requirements, contractor shall take all necessary remedial actions for proper compliance. This is limited list. Only limited list. You revise this and see just specific it is. But it can be anything, we repeat. In this office building, then there is topography and communication. Just a minute please. Topography. Topography is reproduction of graphics through mechanical or optical means such as photography or xerography. Topography is commonly used in catalogs and archives as well as in architectural engineering. This is okay. Actually, it is paribhasha, it is definition that it says. So communications is main point here. Then there's a pipe fabrication shop or other fabrication shop, you can say, if not pipe, steel fabrication shop could be. There could be warehouses which store items. There's a lay down area, and this include storages which are covered as well as otherwise. Then air conditioned storage is also available, must be available for some items. Outdoor storage is appropriate, and piping must be protected with pipe caps, and we have to protect steel reinforcement also. That yard, steel reinforcement yard, there may be carpentry yard, carpentry or formwork fabrication yard, there may be some other yard, radiography examination room, there may be radiography working room like embankment around and embankment for protection of radiations to go, and also you can understand that this radiography examination room, toilets, washing facilities, showers, change rooms, these are very important. Toilets are basics, very basics, and washing facilities and showers, you can say changing rooms, etc. etc. Testing laboratories, both civil, mechanical and E&I testing methods. Then testing laboratory, both civil, mechanical, E&I. Concrete batching plant is a very big item. Batching plant is very important and it must be there as possible outside. And roads, paths and car parking. Roads, paths and car parking for construction requirements. Guard houses, entrance control and fencing. Craft work areas, fueling stations for equipment. Then say craft work areas, fueling stations and for equipment, trucks, buses and adequate storage and handling facilities, rigging of first aid medical stations, first aid medical stations, rigging of we have to see craft work areas, fueling stations for equipment, then trucks, buses, adequate storage, and handling facilities, rigging loft, first aid, medical stations, and minimum 3 should be stations, equipment maintenance facilities, workers' canteen facilities, and significance like that. Steel fabrication area, as we said, steel fabrication area, civil prefabrication work areas, and also civil fabrication work areas, grip blasting, and painting shop, utilities such as power, water for phase of work, for phases of work up to completion. May say all other facilities required for work. Contractor shall prepare details and obtain relevant approvals of facilities proposed. Temporary construction facilities provided by contractor or camps, offices, laydown areas, fabrication shops shall be subject to inspection of State Environment Supreme Council respecting services such as sewage disposal, earth removal and disposal, that transportation, disposal, spills. In case contract is not compliant with minimum requirements, okay, then we can say utilities for accommodation, camp, office, buildings, and other facilities at construction site. Now we'll go through that. A contractor shall arrange for power to be provided from electrical department through plant or alternatively to arrange for its own power generation system. Office buildings and other facilities. Office buildings and other facilities are to be located close to facility to be constructed. Office buildings and other facilities are to be located better close to facility or be constructed. Company or client shall not allow contractor to utilize existing company client facilities. Utilities and contractor arrange You can say company client shall not allow contractor to use existing company client facilities or utilities and contractor arrange for its own power generation system. Contractor shall arrange for temporary power and lighting arrangements in all work areas at construction site. Fresh water. Fresh water at camps at plant industrial city shall be provided by contractor, including what is required for work. Office buildings and other facilities. Office buildings and other facilities, contractors shall provide for collection, storage, transfer and distribution of all water required for office buildings as well as other facilities at construction site. Requirements shall also include items such as concrete production, aggregate materials, washing, testing of piping, vessels, tanks, drinking water, personal waste, flushing and for compaction of construction site fill. Requirements shall also include items such as concrete production, aggregate materials, washing, testing of piping, vessels, tanks, drinking water, personal waste, flushing and for compaction of construction site fill. Contractor shall provide for adequate water storage facility. Adequate water storage facilities for this purpose. Wastes from accommodation camps, offices and other facilities at construction site shall be disposed of in line to environmental requirement. Effluents. Contractor shall provide for collection of all sewage and wastewater from both accommodation camp and other facilities for this at construction site to storage tanks and provide for contents to be treated at existing plant sewage treatment plant within certain limits. Contractors will provide for collection of all sewage and wastewater from both accommodation, camp and other facilities at construction site to storage tanks and provide for contents to be treated at existing plant sewage treatment plant. Construction debris. Construction debris. Construction debris may be disposed of as follows. Clean construction rubble and excavated materials hauled elsewhere within nation to a site approved by company, client or relevant body. Garbage and construction unclassified rubbish to be hauled to a site within nation approved by company, client or other relevant body. Scrap steel to be disposed of through local organizations. Untreated sanitary waste and solid waste to be hauled to a treatment plant. Untreated sanitary waste and solid waste to be hauled to a treatment plant located to a site within area or nation approved by company, client and or relevant body. Contractor shall adhere to environmental guidelines and company client environmental protection standards apply to relevant national public authorities for disposal of such construction debris, in support of which application company client would provide a letter of introduction. Now, untreated sanitary waste, you can say. Untreated sanitary waste and solid waste to be hauled to a treatment plant located to a site within area approved by company or client or relevant body. Contractor shall adhere to environmental guidelines and company client environmental protection standards apply to a relevant national public authority for disposal of such construction debris, in support of which application company client would provide a letter of introduction. Contractor shall adhere to regulations for disposal of dredging material given in contract documents. Waste disposal. All waste generated from contractor's temporary facilities shall be disposed of by contractor at disposal sites within plant area as approved. I General Facility. Then you can say contractor shall utilize plant sewage treatment system for its domestic waste sewage treatment, for which contractor would be charged at rate of whatever per cubic meter. Contractor to arrange for transportation of sewage from its camp to sewage treatment plant. Let me open it better. Telecommunication means communication systems during construction. Telecommunication, a governmental agency has total jurisdiction on communications for this project. If it is so, is a consideration here. During construction work on facilities, communication services shall be required for accommodation camps, for office buildings and other facilities at construction site. Construction communications should be considered as a separate standalone part of project including power supply arrangements. Contractors shall determine exact requirements. A temporary exchange with sufficient capacity to meet anticipated heavy demand for telephone and facsimile circuits during this phase shall be provided. Telephone extensions and facsimile machines shall be required throughout duration of project for offices of company, client, contractor and subcontractors. Contractors shall seek telephones advice on their requirements to supply telecommunication equipment upon request for use of individual groups working at construction site with no requirement for access to external circuits. Separate hand portables, radio systems with base station repeaters shall be provided. I repeat, contractors shall seek telephone advice on their requirements to supply telecommunication equipment upon request for use of individual groups working at construction site with no requirement for access to external circuits. Separate hand portable radio systems with base station repeaters shall be provided. More channels and hand portable mobile units are anticipated during construction phase than during normal operation. Base station repeaters should be installed in construction office and coverage of work areas obtained by use of directional antenna system. Alternatively, base equipment can be installed in suitable containers and located to provide optimal coverage. Contractors shall coordinate construction site communication system requirements through telephone. Company client may provide a letter of introduction for such applications. All communications correspondence with local telecommunications company shall be in coordination with company client. Communication requirements for company client personnel is specified. Import of equipment and materials. All materials for work shall be subject to customs, regulations and inspection. Contractor shall review and understand these regulations. Contractor to note that certificate of origin must be endorsed by a Chamber of Commerce and ratified or legalized by a national embassy consulate. National Customs shall reject all such documents not ratified by a national embassy or consulate. Contractor to arrange authentication. Legalization of such documents. Contractor shall carry out coordination of movement of ships, offloading, handling of equipment and materials delivered to construction site in accordance with local regulations with further following requirements included within relevant section of feed design package. Contractor shall give preference to plant port while importing materials. Plant port is a modern one having necessary facilities like exclusive heavy load berth, cargo berths, etc. to facilitate project import materials. Alternatively, other ports can also be considered if necessary. Air freight shall be through international airport. Then we can say, alternatively, other ports can also be considered if necessary. Air freight shall be through international airport at all stages. Contractor shall clear all materials through national customs for use at construction site. Contractor shall be responsible for payment of legalization fees, custom duty, customs clearance, etc. Disposal of temporary facilities and construction surplus. Temporary facilities installed, equipment, tools used and vehicles are either to be re-exported or disposed of as case may be, or as directed by national authorities. Contractors shall be responsible to coordinate these activities with national authorities respecting which company client would provide a letter of introduction for moving such applications. Contractor shall be responsible for disposal of all construction surplus or by immediately after completion of work subject to company client approval. Contractor shall be responsible for disposal of all construction surplus, that's over by material, immediately after completion of work subject to company client approval. Guarantee period. Guarantee period for work shall be 24 months from completion date. System reliability and water availability. System reliability and water availability. Contractor shall ensure the facility is designed, specified, constructed and commissioned to achieve an overall system reliability of not less than 99.7%. This is to make sure that contractor shall ensure facilities designed, specified, constructed and commissioned to achieve an overall system reliability of not less than 99.7%. Contractor shall ensure that water availability is maintained at 100% all time to all consumers. Contractor shall perform reliability study based on OREDA, reliability data and statistical data from plant which shall be requested by contractor. Contractor shall perform reliability study based on OREDA. Just a minute, please. On this, no, it's not that. Offshore and onshore reliability data. OREDA, offshore and onshore reliability data. OREDA is a state nodal agency responsible for promotion of clear energy in Odisha. OREDA is monitors social. Okay. Then you can say contractor shall ensure that system reliability is 99.7%, maintained and proven to company client with manifold design arrangements. Contractor shall implement in detailed design accommodations is mean time between failure. Mean time between failure and TFBF requirement, etc. Made in reliability report given in documents. It's a part of contractor's scope of work to monitor and establish design reliability. It's a part of contractor's scope of work to monitor and establish design reliability and availability by data collection and analysis for a period of 1 year from performance test with contractor closure date. Then you can say it's a part of contractor's scope of work. Contractor shall implement in detailed design recommendations, namely mean time between failure, requirements made in reliability report given in documents. It's a part of contractor's scope of work to monitor and establish design reliability and availability by data collection and analysis. And you can say if a part of contract scope of work to monitor and establish design relationship or design reliability and availability by data collection and analysis for a period of 1 year from performance test within contract closure date. It's a part of contract's scope of work to monitor and establish design reliability and availability by data collection and analysis for a period of 1 year from performance test within contract closure date. Maintenance engineering data requisition, management and maintenance strategies for SAP system shall be required. contractor shall compile input and entry data into SAP system in conformance with project management control and administration. Project management control and administration. Project management. Contractor shall ensure that all parties involved on work properly coordinate on all interfaces, dealing promptly. Interfaces were discussed yesterday, I'll discuss again. Accordingly, contractor shall initiate and implement appropriate project management, organization, control, and administration procedures. Provision and implementation of project control procedures for work shall be following guidelines provided within contract. In particular, contractor shall give proper attention to following requirements. Project control. Project control. Contractor responsibility includes following as minimum. Undertaking, project organization, pertinent design, let us say design, engineering, procurement, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation and maintenance of facility, including organization, management, and supervision of all subcontractors, vendors, and ancillary or temporary services that are necessary for expeditious completion of work in accordance with contract. Repeat, scope is very big. Contractor's responsibility: undertaking project management or organization, pertinent design, engineering, procurement, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation and maintenance of facility, including organization, management, and supervision of all subcontractors, vendors, and ancillary or temporary services that are necessary for expeditious completion of work in accordance with contract. Then we can say preparation and submission of organization charts for engineering, procurement, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning and commissioning separately for each phase and location of work. Provision of project organization teams to manage implementation of work. Provision of contractor personnel to fulfill contractual requirements for timely completion of works. Coordination and control of work of each work group, that is design group, engineering group, procurement group, services, project control, contracting, construction, installation, testing, pre-commissioning and commissioning, all groups to ensure that work is completed within scheduled completion date in line according to specifications and drawings. Implementation of a safety program throughout execution of work. Implementation of a safety program throughout execution of work, and before that is coordination, control of work, which work group, design, engineering, procurement, services, project control, contracting, construction, installation, testing and commissioning, and to ensure that work is completed within scheduled completion date in line according to specifications and drawings. Implementation of safety program throughout execution of work. Implementation of a quality assurance program throughout execution of work, and submission of then you can see carrying out periodic quantity implementation of quality assurance program throughout execution of work, and submission of periodic reports to company or client, carrying out periodic quality, safety, technical and schedule audits with company client attendance, and advising company client of results of such audits together with appropriate action taken on recommendations. Then you can say by chance, preparation of a complete set, such carrying out periodic quality, safety, technical and schedule audits with company client attendance, and advising company client of results of such audits together with appropriate actions taken on all recommendations. Such audits shall be carried out at 30%, 60%, 90% of engineering, procurement and construction progress. 30%, 60%, 90% of completions can be added more, depends. This just guides. Preparation of a complete set of project administration. Preparation of a complete set of project administration instructions, manual for work to obtain approval in line with requirements of contract. Contractors shall prepare, finalize and obtain company clients' approval of project document distribution and approval matrices, which be produced, which we produce for each work phase, and that is engineering, procurement, construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning and initial operation and maintenance. Matrices shall include contractors' internal distribution as well as companies, clients, involved parties, organization management and discipline engineers. Contractors shall prepare, finalize and obtain company client approval of project deliverables registers, which we produced separately for each work phase. Engineering, procurement, construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning and initial operation and maintenance. management. Oh. 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 Management and coordination. Management and coordination of all external interfaces associated with work. These interfaces cover engineering, procurement, services including supply, construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning, initial operations, and maintenance activities. Attending all management meetings. Attending all management meetings with company, client, at contractors design office, construction site, and company client offices in nation in accordance with contract. Reporting to company client in accordance with guideline provided with contract. Okay, I'm just going through this. So you can say management and coordination. Management and coordination of all external interfaces associated with work. That is management and coordination of all external interfaces associated with work. These interfaces cover engineering, procurement services including supply, construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning, initial operations and maintenance activities, attending all management meetings with company client at contractor's design office, construction site and company client offices in nation in accordance with contract, reporting to company client in accordance with guideline provided with contract. Construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operations and maintenance management. Construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation and maintenance management. Contractor shall provide all construction, organization management, supervision and support services including but not limited to following: construction management and interface management, construction management and interface management, construction supervision, safety management, quality control, quality assurance, construction engineering and technical control systems services, material control and warehousing, management of subcontractor and vendors, third-party controls and dispatch services, third-party inspection services, disposal of construction surplus materials, dismantling and disposal of construction aids and temporary facility, except otherwise directed by company client. Disposal of construction surplus materials, dismantling and disposal of construction aids and temporary facility except otherwise directed by company, commissioning, startup, initial operations and maintenance management. Again I read this is an important one. This is what you call it: construction, pre-commissioning, commissioning, startup, initial operation, maintenance management organization. Contractor shall provide all construction management, construction organization, supervision and support services including but not limited to given below: construction management and interface management, construction supervision, safety, quality controls, requirements in and construction engineering and technical controls services, material controls and warehousing, organization or management of subcontractor and vendors, TPC and TPI services, disposal of construction supply surplus materials, dismantling and disposal of construction aid and temporary facility except otherwise directed by company, commissioning, startup, initial operations and maintenance management. In conclusion of interface management, lean construction and agile project. Lean construction and agile project management, two main representatives of recently emerging management philosophies, have been gradually accepted and implemented by construction industry. Although implementations have achieved great progress, difficulties and challenges are apparent. These two philosophies are both considering project complexity to a certain extent. These two philosophies are both considering project complexity to a certain extent. However, none of them puts a main focus on interface issues as an integrated part of a project's complexity. Project's complexity. Actually, some lean and agile applications increase project complexity to a great extent, such as complex relationship, then we can say interface management. Let us see. Actually, some lean and agile applications increase project complexity to great extent, such as complex relationships and intensive collaborations among small teams, as well as constant challenges. Changes. Interface management can be regarded as a facilitator when coping with project complexity. Interface management further enables a smooth application for lean construction and agile project management. IM has been drawing more and more attention from both industry and academia in recent years. Through managing and controlling boundary conditions among project entities, IM helps build a deep understanding. IM helps build a deep understanding of project complexity. It has been proven to address project complexity and therefore allows for a dynamic and you can say, again I say, IM has been drawing more and more attention from both industry and academia in recent years through managing and controlling boundary conditions among project entities. IM helps build a deep understanding of project complexity. It has been proven to address project complexity and therefore allows for a dynamism or dynamic and well conducted, coordinated construction project system. Very important for both lean and agile construction management organization. Biggest benefit IM offers to is to assisting lean construction in understanding and dealing with physics of production as well as project complexity. Assisting APM in coping with human dynamics and achieving high efficiency and effectiveness of small, self-organizing multidisciplinary teams. Believe that IM benefits can greatly facilitate further implementation of lean construction and APM in construction management. Future research will focus on specific strategies of incorporating IM within lean construction and APM techniques. We'll go through later on detailed engineering. So thank you very much. I'll be in touch again for next talk. For that, I take your leave. Thank you very much for your kind